History is filled with forgotten legends, but some stories defy the very laws of nature. Imagine a man who looked death in the eyes, not once, but multiple times, and every single time he returned. This is the astonishing story of Hazrat Jirjis, a noble figure known in the West as Saint George. But Islamic history holds a much deeper, more terrifying truth about his journey. Our story begins in an era of deep darkness. Long after the departure of Prophet Jesus, the world had forgotten the message of one God. In the ancient, dusty lands of Syria, a dark shadow grew. It was the reign of a merciless tyrant, King Dadianus. He was a ruler consumed by absolute power and dark pagan rituals. In the center of his vast kingdom, the king erected a monstrous idol, a towering statue built to command fear. The king's law was simple and brutal: bow down and worship the idol, or face an agonizing death. There was no trial, there was no mercy. Fear gripped the hearts of the people. The blazing fires of the king's torture chambers never stopped burning. The screams of the innocent echoed through the city walls. Everyone submitted to the terror. Everyone, except one man. Amidst this heavy silence of fear, a single voice rose. It was Hazrat Jirjis, a man of unshakable faith and absolute purity. He walked straight into the grand court of King Dadianus. He did not tremble, he did not bow. He looked at the monstrous idol, and then at the furious king. With a calm yet powerful voice, he spoke the forbidden truth. He commanded the king to abandon this lifeless piece of stone. He invited them to worship the one true creator of the heavens and the earth. The royal court fell dead silent. No one had ever dared to speak to the tyrant like this. The king's face twisted with pure rage. How could a simple man defy a god-king? The punishment was ordered immediately. And so began one of the most brutal trials in human history. King Dadianus unleashed his absolute worst. Hazrat Jirjis was subjected to unspeakable torture. His body was torn with heavy iron combs. He was thrown into a blazing, roaring furnace. According to the ancient texts, the king did not just kill him. He destroyed his body completely, leaving no trace behind. The king sat back on his golden throne, smiling. The rebel was gone, the threat was eliminated. But the king did not know who he was fighting against. The very next day, as the king held his grand court, the heavy wooden doors slowly opened. The guards froze in terror. The king's smile vanished, because standing right there in the doorway, completely unharmed, was Hazrat Jirjis. The king stared in absolute disbelief. It was impossible. He had seen the man perish. Yet here he was, breathing, speaking, undefeated. Driven to the edge of madness, the king ordered him to be killed again. This time, the methods were even more gruesome. Historical accounts say he was crushed beneath massive weights. And yet again, by the command of the Almighty, Hazrat Jirjis returned. 3 separate times, the king tried to erase him from existence. He was thrown into vats of boiling water. He was cut down without mercy. But death had no power over a man protected by the divine. Every single time, God restored his flesh and bone. Every single time he stood before the tyrant king, repeating his peaceful message of truth. The people of the city watched in awe. This was no illusion. This was undeniable, supreme power. The wall of fear that had chained their minds began to shatter. Even within the heavily guarded walls of the royal palace, the truth struck a chord. The king's own wife, the queen, witnessed these astonishing miracles. She could no longer stay silent. She stepped forward into the grand hall. Right in front of her furious husband, she declared her faith in the one true God. She chose the truth, fully knowing the terrible price she would have to pay. Many courtiers and ordinary people followed her. The king's empire of fear was finally crumbling from the inside out. But a heart completely sealed by darkness cannot see the light. King Dadianus was pushed into absolute madness. The defiance of his own wife, the queen, completely shattered his arrogant pride. Instead of recognizing the ultimate truth, he chose to drown his city in blood. He showed no mercy to anyone. Driven by blind rage, he ordered the brutal execution of his own queen. She accepted her fate with a peaceful smile, knowing she had found the truth. The king then turned his wrath upon the city. He ruthlessly slaughtered every single person who had embraced the new faith. The streets of the ancient city ran red with the blood of the innocent. Hazrat Jirjis stood amidst the sorrow and the destruction. He looked at the tyrant king and his loyal followers who were cheering for the bloodshed. He realized their hearts had permanently turned to stone. There was no humanity left in them. Their time for guidance had ended. Standing tall among his fallen companions, Hazrat Jirjis raised his hands towards the heavens. He made one final, devastating prayer. He asked the Almighty to bring an end to this relentless evil. He prayed to cleanse the earth of this unstoppable tyranny. And then, the skies responded. The ancient texts describe a terrifying divine punishment. The skies turned pitch black. The earth began to tremble violently beneath their feet. A deafening, terrifying sound tore through the heavens. In a flash of absolute, blinding wrath, the tyrant king, his monstrous idol, and his cruel empire were completely wiped from existence. Where a kingdom of terror once stood, nothing was left but ash and silence. Having fulfilled his extraordinary mission, having suffered beyond human limits, Hazrat Jirjis embraced his final martyrdom. His soul finally returned to his creator in perfect peace. He left behind a legacy that would echo through thousands of years. The story of a man who conquered death itself, multiple times, just to prove one simple fact. The body can be broken. The body can be destroyed, but the truth can never be killed.